All right. A very good afternoon to everyone present here in the meeting. Before starting the program, we'll begin with the as usual prayer we do as part of this program.
Please confirm if the screen is visible.
Your screen is not visible. Yeah, visible.
ये पूर्ण है, वो भी पूर्ण है। पूर्ण में से पूर्ण।
All right, so we'll begin. Please wait for one more minute and then we will start. Ma'am, is the screen visible?
Daksha, it is visible.
All right, ma'am. Thank you.
You have to slightly increase your volume, Daksha.
Okay, ma'am. Is it audible now?
Your voice is
slightly more.
feeble.
Is it audible now?
It is audible, but your voice is very, very slow. Very, very less feeble voice.
Okay, am I loud enough now?
Yes, yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right, so a lot of you present here know me, but for those who don't, my name is Daksha Indora. I'm a member of the Adolescent Peer Educator Program and your today's host. First of all, thank you so much to all the people who have been attending this program. I mean, it's the corporation of and efforts of few people that this program has been going on with so much enthusiasm and interest. Thank you so much to the members, to all the teachers who have been encouraging us, and especially the speakers who have been coming and enlightening us with all the knowledge and experiences they acquire. So friends, we have been part of this program since the last 2 days. Till now we learned and got to know about two major critical aspects. In the first one, we learned about journey from core life skills to 21st century skills by Professor Tosendra Dwivedi sir. And in the previous one, in the second one, we learned about building up resilience by Dr. Jyoti Devrishi ma'am. And both the sessions were really informative and interesting. Likewise, our today's session is about effective communication skills. Friends, you go out, you meet people, and you influence them with your communication skills. How confident you are, how good at your speaking skills. So it covers a really vast paradigm in it, and it actually plays a very crucial aspect in our life. And today, we are honored enough that we have among us none other than Mrs. Radhika Bhatia ma'am. Ma'am, first of all, a warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for coming and taking some time off your hectic schedule to attend this program. Friends, for everyone's knowledge, ma'am is a renowned individual in this field. She has significant contributions to more than 10 schools across India. Her roles have been multifaceted, serving both as a principal and an administrator, notably at an army public school. Her dedication extends beyond teaching. She has been a guiding force in various administrative capacities, ensuring the smooth operation of the institutions she has worked with. In recognition of her outstanding work in empowering women and children of Army officers, Mrs. Radhika Bhatia ma'am received the AWWA Award of Excellence. Mrs. Bhatia's unwavering dedication and numerous achievements make her a respected and influential figure in the field of education and beyond. And honestly, she has a long list of achievements that I don't think I would be able to cover in this meeting. So ma'am, I won't take much time of yours. The meeting is over to you now. Thank you so much.
So much, Daksha. Namaste, respected Dr. Anil Kumar Sharma ji, Regional Education Officer, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, New Delhi. My dear
Namaste.
educators, namaste sir. My dear educators and the future of our nation, my dear students. Thank you so much, dear students. I appreciate your kind words for me. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Anil Kumar Sharma ji and of course my revered principal, Mrs. Gulshan Kaur, for providing me this platform at the Adolescent Peer Educators Leadership Program, which is organized by the iconic institution, Shikshan Bharati, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, New Delhi, to speak about family bonding, caring communication, and emerging paradigm. Well, students, before I elaborate on this topic, I would also request you to kindly be very interactive as I take you all on this journey of family bonding. May I have your permission to share screen, sir? Daksha, I'd request if you could give me permission to share screen.
Ma'am, you have.
Ma'am, you can share it without any permission.
It's showing no permission. You cannot share screen while other participant is sharing.
Okay, Daksha, stop sharing your slide. Then ma'am can automatically share her screen.
Thank you, Daksha.
Ma'am, can you share now?
You have to stop sharing, Daksha. Then only I'll be able to share. Stop sharing, please. Thank you so much, Daksha. Thank you. I hope my screen is visible to all.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. So, as we proceed further and make this interactive, I would request all of you to just introduce yourself. I have 3 emojis on my screen. You can easily choose one of them and put it in the chat box. Which emoji describes your feeling right now or how you feel? I got only one reply. It says that somebody is happy to be here. All right, so that's it. Time up. Time waits for none. So we have to keep our emotions tracking. Let's talk, before I talk about family bonding and we talk about communication, who here has ever tried talking to their pet like as if it's their human being? So we have this GIF, which when we have a pet, we always like to do it. So have you tried or have you never tried? It can be A or B. Okay, never tried. Shishant, but all right. Is there someone who has tried communicating with the animals when you have a pet at home? Can be a bird, can be a cat, can be a dog. Well, yes. The purpose of this was basically to tell you that communication is not about interacting with human beings only. There are times when you interact with all the beings around you. And that is why it basically goes on the parameters of being just a human. And when we talk of family bonding, before I proceed on this topic, there's a short video which I want you to see and think, because I will be asking you a few questions on this. I hope the audio is clear.
your teen is about establishing trust and a foundation for mutual respect. Let's look at some scenarios that show both the wrong and right way to communicate with your teen.
Really? You're an hour late. Now the post office is closed.
I just forgot, okay?
You're so irresponsible. What's wrong with you?
I just forgot, okay?
You're grounded.
You're so unfair.
The father was worried and scared that something had happened to his son. That fear and anger was directed toward his teen in an unproductive way. It's okay to be upset in this situation, but dumping those feelings on his son won't help him from being late in the future. For a more productive conversation, frame the exchange with I statements that explain reasoning and fosters a two-way communication.
Hey, son.
Hey,
I was worried about you. We agreed that you'd be home an hour ago since I needed to use the car. When I didn't hear from you, I thought something bad might have happened.
sorry, I was at Sean's house. We were all hanging out, and I didn't realize that it was so late until I got in the car to come home and saw the time.
Listen, I'm glad you're okay. But why didn't you call when you saw what time it was?
I don't know. I guess that I knew I messed up.
Yeah, it's human to lose track of time, especially when you're having fun. Mistakes happen, but part of growing up is keeping your agreements. I need to know that if we agree on driving privileges and a time that you have to be home, you're going to stick to it. And you get that, right? So, since you were late, your weekday curfew is going to be 6 o'clock for the next month.
Really? A whole month?
If you can show that you can come home on time, we can talk about moving it back to 7 o'clock. Agreed?
Agreed.
Look, it's really important that you don't hide your mistakes from me. And hey, I don't expect you to be perfect, but I can't help you if you don't communicate with me. Owning up to your mistakes shows that you're responsible, but hiding them, trying to avoid the consequences, that shows me you're not being responsible. Make sense?
I get it.
Hey, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Actually, yeah.
The father used I statements to draw his son's attention to the fact that there are consequences for his actions, and this opened the door for his son to share his other concerns.
Everyone else gets to stay out later. How come my curfew's only 7?
Okay, some of your friends may stay out later than you do, and others probably come home earlier. 7 o'clock on a weeknight works well because you usually have homework to do, and you have to get up really early for school. If you get in late, then you're up even later doing homework. It's hard for you to get up in the morning, and then you're all cranky.
Dad, really? You make it sound like I'm a baby. All cranky.
I'm sorry, cranky was a poor choice of words. I shouldn't have said that. What I'm trying to say is that we all need enough sleep to stay healthy. The curfew is only there to keep you safe and healthy, not to control your personal life. If there's a specific event that you want to stay out later for, we can discuss that on a case-by-case basis. That's why your weekday curfew is 7 o'clock.
The father communicated to his son that rules are in place for safety and not control. House rules work best when teens understand why the rules are in place, not just that rules exist and they must comply with them. The father did call his son cranky, which wasn't the best choice of words, and his son took offense. The father recovered by acknowledging his mistake and also modeled taking responsibility for his actions.
All right. So with this, of course, we come to the end of this video. And the purpose of showing this video is you might have a scenario where the parent might be reacting like the situation A, where the father comes and says and asks and he's worried and he wants to know what has happened to you. Why the delay? It could be a second scenario as well, wherein your father might come and interact and explain to you. Now, you as a teenager need to understand that what is the inside motive of a father reacting in that way. You need to build that bond to understand when a father is reacting, be it A or B. You can have any one of the two scenarios at home. That should not stop you from understanding what is the basic principle or what is the basic instinct on which your father is got motivated to say this, that, okay, you're grounded and you're not going to use that car again and going to go out again. So to build that bond is what we call the family bond. So it's a vital process. It is not something which will happen overnight. It's a vital process which goes on, and it focuses on enhancing your connections, building your relationships and emotional ties within the family unit. What does it encompass? It encompasses various family members to come together to share their experiences, fostering a deeper understanding and appreciation for one another. Quality time spent together is, of course, the heart of family bonding, whether shared through meals, through outings, through some engaging activities like fun. When we were small, we remember going out for picnics and recreational activities with parents, and that actually nourished the bond between us. So, in a nutshell, if I say, when a family members can open up and they can express their thoughts, you can share your thoughts during your family dinners, during laughter, during family meals. When you can share your feelings, you can share 1,000 of stories that you have around you. And 2/3 of our conversations are actually stories. We're just narrating our experiences, our feelings, and making memories out of those moments. And of course, concern. We need to interact with each other to express our concern. We learn collaboratively by discovering new things together, so you can do a lot of new activities together. But why create a family bond? What is the significance behind it? It is basically the impact on our personal growth and well-being. So for you, what is the power of family bonding, if I may say? We need to emphasize that it actually contributes to your overall well-being, how it provides you mental and emotional support, a sense of belonging, and resilience. Now, for this, I would like to narrate a small story. And for all that, I want all of you to just shut your eyes for a few seconds. The story goes like this. Firstly, calm yourself down and close your eyes as I narrate this incident. In a cozy living room, you are sitting cross-legged on the floor, listening to your grandmother. She weaves tales of her youth, the hardships, the triumph, and the resilience that carried her through. You absorb every word, realizing that this isn't just a history lesson. It's a lesson in emotional strength. Grandma's wisdom becomes a lifeline during tough times, and she teaches you that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's courage. And sharing our stories, our scars, and victories connects generations. Open your eyes, my dear. That is how family bonds become unbreakable, threads that stitch the past, the present, and the future. These regular interactions are the ones which make the bond stronger. But is that all? Well, that is not so. It actually works on your value ethics, your emotional support, and your security and safety. Values and ethics. Why do we really need it? We always keep talking about value and ethics in school. Values are deep-held beliefs that influence your behavior and your decision-making. Ethics, your moral principles that will actually make you responsible whether what you're doing is right or wrong. So what is its importance for the child? What is the importance for you in your daily life? During the high school time, you might have faced a very important decision-making of deciding which stream I had to go to, which academic choices am I supposed to make, which social interactions should I continue with. All these things are based on values and ethics. It builds your character. It shapes an individual's character. It imbibes in you the feeling and the attributes of honesty, integrity, and responsibility. It's also responsible for your social interactions. Your ethical behavior positively impacts your social interactions, fostering trust and respect among peers, educators, and even your family members. So value and ethics are a very important part of our life. Talk about emotional support. Now, why do I need emotional support for family bonding? Emotional support here refers to empathy, reassurance, and understanding one receives from the family. It involves comforting times during time of strength and sadness and anxiety and depression. But at the same time, we need to understand it's also celebrating your success and joys. You need a family to enjoy all your emotions. And does it really help students? Yes, it does. You have academic pressures, preparing for final exams, college examination. You need emotional support to mitigate the stress and create a space safe so that you can actually express your feelings and your concern to somebody. Mental health. Regular access to emotional support reduces risk of mental health issues like anxiety and depression. Knowing that someone is there to listen, someone is there to give you those comforting words. Your self-esteem and your confidence. Encouragement and positive reinforcement from supportive relationships around you boost your self-confidence and your self-esteem. And it's very critical during the transition in adulthood. Is that all? Now, why security and stability? Do we really need it? Security here refers to the feeling of being safe and protected. And stability refers to consistency and predictability in one's life. The more consistent, the more predictable you are, the more you are in order and reliability. And what is its importance for students? Your mental health, your emotional health reduces your anxiety and stress. So you're able to focus. You're able to pay attention to your personal growth. What about resilience? Stability and hope at home and in relationships can help students develop resilience. It basically helps you because you know that you have a reliable support system and you can face the challenges and even setbacks. Academic performance? Of course. If you feel more secure and if you have a support system which is there to guide you, and they are likely to perform, students are likely to perform very well because they know there is somebody who is ready to listen. There's somebody who is ready to express their concern, and they're able to concentrate more and engage in learning. Well, what are things that you can do to build these communication tips? Well, these are tips that you can take forward and take that leap of building a communicative bond. So what are these casual tips? Self-deprecating humor. You don't always have to be very formal and serious. There are times that you need to crack a joke. You need to share a funny incident from your own life. It could be something embarrassing, something relatable, even if you're under a lot of stress. It's fine. You should be willing to laugh at yourself. All right? It humanizes you and makes you more relatable to the family. So, for example, if you just narrate a system, I tripped over the podium during a speech, but hey, I got a lot of attention this time. So these are things which actually attract the attention and makes communication easier. There's a parent and a teen translator. Now, parent translator is basically you can have your sibling have this game. Let us understand this game. Let's add some, those dinner table humor. So introduce a fictional character of a parent translator. Let's decode what parents really want to say when they say something. So there are times when your mom says, we'll see, beta, we'll just wait. Probably she just wants to tell you, probably not. I don't want to argue on this. And when your dad says, ask your mother, he's actually saying that I'm out of this, right? So you can always decode those words over dinner time. But is that all? Well, if you have a sibling, you can also have a teen translator. There are times when things may not go as scheduled, right? So the teen is not having a good day and he says, I'm fine. And probably he's actually not fine. He's just saying, I'm trying to survive. All right. And in this tech-savvy world, is this the only way of face-to-face communication? Well, not. We always resort to a mobile phone sometimes for any form of communication. no matter how much you try to avert this. But yes, this is a part of our lives. So if a formal K is actually equivalent to a digital eye roll, is that another form of, adding humor to your dining tables and to your informal, casual communication? Well, you can always have texting mishaps, and they are equally funny. And that is if your autocorrect fails and if you have accidental texts. As is evident, Dad, I wanted to say you are the best, but I wrote you are the beast. And now everybody thinks I'm in love with the Animal Planet channel. Well, these are small little instances which we'll add. But is that all? Not only adding humor, but it's also sharing warmth. The virtual family hug. There might be distances, there might be lack of time, there might be other issues. Maybe your parents are working and they're preoccupied with their own job. You can always share a virtual hug. It can be a beer hug, it can be a high five and an emoji every day. These are short forms of expressing your concern and your love for your parents and with your family members. So before we dive further into what further forms of communication, how it helps us, let's hear from you. What is your favorite communication tip within the family? So is there sometimes when you would like to interact with everyone and you break the ice by cracking something in humor or just sharing a story? Is there someone who would like to share with us? Well, if not now, take your time to think. We'll get back to you when this session is over. All right? So keep thinking about how would you build on your communication and how you would actually, if there's a formal gathering and if something is getting very, very difficult and there are no, communication breaks, how are you going to make up for it? So apart from this, is there any family tradition that you cherish the most? Well, I cherish Diwali. So I want everybody to, unmute and answer. Yes, you are the teenagers of tomorrow. I mean, the future of tomorrow, but of course, teenagers of today. So if you have to speak up, you have to communicate with me. Is there any family tradition that you cherish the most? I cherish, celebrating, Diwali together. Let all the family members come together. Be it dancing on the dhol or be it making dinners together. Just spending the time with each other, no study, no academics, no pressures, just sheer enjoyment. And those 2-3 days of lot of laughter and fun and interaction. Yes, that is very, very important. But does it end there? Well, it doesn't. We need to carry it forward, right? So a follow-up of that family tradition needs to go on. Now here, if you see, there's a girl at the dining table and there's a video which I would like to share. And I have a few questions for you after this video.
Yan, ganyan. Galing-galing talaga ni Nikki. Manang-mana kay Mommy.
Sige nga, patingin nga, Nikki.
Daddy, mamaya na.
Excited na kami ni Mami, di ba, Ma? Wow!
Oh, di ba? Very good talaga
more.
Nikki, damit ko to eh. Bakit di ka na naman nagpaalam? Ate, pahingin rice.
Don't forget to say please, Nikki.
Carla, ice cream tayo mamaya.
Dad,
Yes, baby.
totoo po ba na mas favorite mo si Nikki?
Totoo?
Oo. Favorite namin siyang ka-joke, ka-baking. Ikaw naman, favorite namin ka-video games, ka-movie, at syempre, ka-ice cream. Ano? Movie o video games?
Movie.
Movie!
Movie daw, Mami. Movie natin
Gusto mo
later.
ng ice cream? Thank you, Ate Carla.
So ano yung movie natin later, baby?
Well, this was also about communicating. It's what you feel. So this little girl had few emotions inside her. She had some beliefs inside her, which were carrying on. But it was that, interaction over the dining table. And when they were quiet, they were listening to each other, that she expressed her views. So there are times when you're bound to interact with your family on your issues related to your career. You'll have two very different choices. Maybe your parents are thinking something else. You are thinking something else. Maybe your choice of friends, maybe you might find an average grader as your best friend, and maybe your parents are telling you, no, you must look for the one who's scoring the most. Maybe because of academic pressures. But what do you do when you are in such a situation where you are not able to interact and you're too shy to interact? So find that one person in your family, find one person in your peer group, your teachers, your counselors. They are there to help you. You need to interact with them, and you can sit and share with them your problems. But I do not want that conversation to end over there. It can also be appreciating about your family members. Not always do we find problems and issues with all the family members. We need to appreciate them as well. So keep it very positive as well. Now here, we do not finish with this. The impact of cell phones, the impact of phones, and how it is influencing our interactions with each other is creating an impact in the entire globe. And this short video is going to tell you about how we are creating differences by not interacting the way that we have to. Because you might find that best person right next to you, but how do you interact with him so that you can communicate completely? So listen to him, and we'll get back.
I just want to show you something. This is the psychological power of the device. What if I was sitting here talking to you holding my phone? It's not buzzing, it's not beeping, no one's calling me, I'm just holding it. Do you feel like you are the most important thing to me right now? No, you don't. That's the association. So when we show up for a meeting, or we sit down for dinner with our families, and we put the phone on the table, it sends a psychological message to everyone sitting there that you are not the most important thing to me right now. And putting the phone upside down is not more polite. Put it in airplane mode to take away the temptation that something's coming in, and put it in a bag or on a shelf out of sight. And this is how we should be interacting with people, giving them our full attention, because the idea is not that we hear the words they say, but that they feel heard. And this is one of the tricks. If you wake up in the morning and you check your phone before you say good morning to the person sitting next to you, you probably have a problem. If you have to take your phone from room to room, no matter where you go, you probably have a problem. And just like any recreational drug, the more you practice leaving it away. For example, if you go out for dinner, you don't need 4 telephones. Leave one at home, leave one in the car. You have one with your spouse, it's fine. If you have a client meeting, leave it in the car, leave it in the bag, never take it out. And it becomes easier and easier. And you find it easier not to be sucked in by the fear mongering as well. So, like any addiction, it just takes a little work. I just want to.
So, dear students, this is what we need to understand. Carrying out communication does not mean just carrying it out. We have to make sure that we are away from these devices, which are actually we are getting addicted to them and enslaved by them. So let's move on to caring communication. And as I just showed in the video, active listening is a very, very important part of caring communication. Give your speaker your undivided attention, maintain an eye contact, respect their personal space. If you do not understand something, you just have to be a patient listener. You can just ask a question. Can you explain me what that? It's fine to ask. Teenagers, here you need to work on yourself and overcome this inhibition of, should I ask this question? Should I not ask this question? Will it be embarrassing? Will it be difficult? It's all right. You just need to be a patient listener sometimes. And so listen and ask question and paraphrase it later, summarize and ask that, Dad, this is what you were trying to say. Is this exactly what you meant? Right? And summarize your understanding on it. So we were talking about empathy, being in someone's shoes, understanding something. Is it really important to have empathy in building your strong relationship? Can you actually think of an example when you empathize with somebody and you understood him better? I'm sure you do. And you must have done once in your life. So put yourself in others' shoes. Try to understand their feelings when they're talking to you. Can be your mother, your father, your brother, or even your friend for that matter. Validate those emotions and say, okay, I can understand. I can understand what you're trying to say. All right, that makes sense. Sometimes it may not strike in the very first go, but it's all right. Show understanding through your non-verbal cues of nodding and gentle gestures, and keep practicing empathy. It doesn't come overnight. You have to work on yourself. So how do you strike that balance? Because you need time. You have to strike a family balance. You have to strike a balance with your friends, with your schoolwork. So you have to develop strategies for it. And it has to be very individual. But yes, I have a few ways which I will be suggesting to you. And think about those challenges which are there for this balancing act. And how will you overcome? We will be taking up in the following slides in detail this later. But it is a very important ingredient of caring communication. Using I statements is very important. Always saying you are wrong, you kept it here, you did not follow this is a blame game. So whenever you're expressing yourself, I feel this way, I get angry sometimes, I feel frustrated this times, helps the other person to understand what you're actually trying to say. Focus on the issue, not the person. If there is a problem, don't say this person has a problem. There is a problem that the person is going through. So similarly, like we applaud the work and not the individual. Similarly, here also we focus on the problem and don't make the person feel that he is the problem. So be very careful of this and keep having those open-ended conversations on how, what, why, because they are the clues. They are the ways ahead, because that is how the person will be able to answer in detail. Otherwise, a yes and no answer will actually stop the conversation.
आपका number लिखो.
Neeraj,
9888.
sir, ma'am, please kindly mute yourself. Thank you so much. Conflict resolution. It's not possible that you will not have a conflict in your house. There are times there will be conflicts. There will be issues that you cannot come to terms with. What do you do when you have one? Stay calm, stay composed, listen actively, understand the other one's perspective. What is the other person trying to say? Focus on what is mutually beneficial solution. And I always say, use the I word. In the digital world, we all are tech savvy. So digital communication cannot be left here. But is there a format of having this conversation? Yes, there is. Be mindful of your tone. What is the tone that you're talking in? What is the way that you're texting in? there is, you know, when you're referring to your elders, you have to write namaste and you know, write a proper language and end with regards. So that is the correct format of communication. If you do not follow that, then somewhere things go amiss. If you feel it's too much for you, use emoticons, use emojis. They're short and crisp, and they do not lead to misinterpretation of words if you are facing any kind. And avoid using capital letters for any form of communication, because it's overtly, you know, very dramatic. So how do you communicate your needs and boundaries to your family? Do you just go and tell them, listen, this is not what I'm going to do, I'm too busy? Well, no. You have to understand how they would respond, because that is the follow-up. And how do you feel more balanced? So boundaries, identify your personal limits, because they are very important. This much time for this activity, this much time I can devote. This is my career choice. This is where I focus on academics. Respect other boundaries as well. They also might have a stipulated time that they can give to you. Practice to say no sometimes without feeling guilty. No, I can't do it. It's all right. Self-expression. Share your thoughts. It's very important to share and feel authentic, because whatever you are feeling, you need to phrase it and then put it across. So that is very important. Be vulnerable and open with trustworthy members of your family and friends, and understand cultural sensitivity as well. Avoid these assumptions and stereotypes. Our parents come from different backgrounds, but that does not mean that you start assuming things. You have to accept them. You have to respect whatever culture that is being followed, respect the background that they come from, and ask if you do not understand something, ask questions to understand their perspective. Practice and role playing. Caring communication does not happen again overnight. You have to keep working on yourself for this. So how do you apply these lessons to your life when you see a role model doing it in his family and he's actually having a very caring environment around him? How do you identify whether my family is balanced and whether my relationship is healthy with my parents? There are tricks for it. Engage in interactive exercises to practice active listening, as shown in the video and otherwise, empathy and conflict resolution. Role play, build different, you can always have different scenarios, and they help to build your confidence in your communication skills. Encourage feedback and self-reflection. Introspection is a very important part of human. But that is not all. There are some hurtful communication styles that can affect a relationship. So they're a big no. Criticism, if I may say. If you start attacking your family members and start addressing them with issues that which are, rather than addressing the issue, if you're addressing the person, then there is no way that the relationship will go further. Being vocal about your feelings is good, because that helps the other person understand, right? But you need to prioritize that. To develop a healthy bond, I cannot criticize the person. Being defensive. Now, sometimes you start being defensive. No, I've never done this. I've never done anything like that. Refusing to take responsibility for negative actions and behavior and blaming your family members is a basic toxic pattern in relationship. We have Dr. Suzanne Wolf, who says, one should own up for your mistakes and resolve the issue, and taking responsibility promotes mutual understanding and growth in the family. Contempt. Insulting, foul language doesn't solve any problem. So disrespecting, mocking will make things worse. If one family member has started mocking, it's time for an honest conversation. So start that. So don't disrespect anyone. That doesn't work. And of course, stonewalling. Now that's the latest in, if I may say, refusing to have any kind of communication. Withdrawing from conversation is a sign of toxicity within the family. A mature and a sensible person will always carry on the communication and finish it, right? And will be willing to address the complication if there is any. If he or she is not ready to talk immediately, take some time, give them the space, let them collect their thoughts, and then have a healthy conversation. So effective communication is cornerstone of a successful relationship, which fosters trust, bond, and it helps you to overcome your challenges. So remember that these are very important things. There might be a time when you might have spent quality time with your family, had a happy moment, enjoyed maybe going out for a movie, a picnic, or a visit to probably a museum or a dam. Remember those moments at times when you feel depressed or you feel, left out. And think what activities will help you to build that family bond together. So after all, strengthening a family bond is very, very important, right? So a strong family is like the foundation of a house, built on love, communication, and mutual respect. It stands firm through storms, and it shelters everyone within. Communicate, that is, as I told you earlier also, it's again a very, very important part. Apart from that, let's talk about building a happy family and strengthening by respecting each other, spending time in harmony, and of course, spend quality time. Think of ways and weekends, how can you make them, an interactive and a communicative environment inside your family. So strengthening bonds within the family is like building a strong safety net, which supports you through ups and downs. It also equips you with skills and values for the future. So as is rightly said, sometimes it takes only one act of kindness and caring to change a person's life. So start applying that in life. When I say caring, what is caring? I'm talking about caring communication. How do you develop that care? Care is nothing more than just compassion and concern and love. It involves understanding the other person's needs and emotions. When parents come back from work, do we need to understand and care for them? Yes, we do. Right? We need to build that trust so that we can build our relationship and emotional well-being. Well, what are the elements if I have to develop my caring elements? The first is, of course, empathy. As I told you, understand and respect others' feelings. Other is compassion. It goes a little beyond empathy. You're willing to elevate the suffering of the others, a deeper sense of concern. So if there is a family member who's feeling low, you understand, you empathize, and you are also compassionate because you are going to be there to guide and support and comfort the individual. But this doesn't end here. You need to respect the dignity and individuality of the other, valuing their opinion and experiences and their well-being. These are all very, very important parts of being a caring person. So how do you do it in action? Be present there, show genuine interest, and be ready to offer help, because these are very, very vital for building a communication. Now, there can be a time, you can think of the time that one of your friends or your family members might be going through a very struggling period. Think of the ways that you could have helped him, or you did help. And at the end of the day, when you're going back to, rest for the next day, think of the ways that you felt when you did the good gesture. You obviously feel very relaxed. You feel very satisfied that you've done a good gesture and made a change in someone's life. So that one act of kindness that you performed, how did it impact the other person? It also impacts you. So if it is within the family or beyond, you need to develop this of kindness because it makes you feel very happy. So think about it at the end of the day. Do that introspection. In what ways do you express your appreciation to your family members on a daily basis? How many times a day do you say that, Dad, I'm grateful for all that you've done for me. I'm so thankful to you, Mama, for all the things that you do. Oh, my little brother, you helped me pack my bag today. Oh, I just got a plate. Express yourself. Do you think that this appreciation affects your relationship? Yes, it will. The more you appreciate, the more stronger and the more effective your bond will be. And the more balanced family is what we are looking for. So here comes very important part for teenagers, which is firstly, open your communication channels. You have to be very honest and maintain that connection with them. Ensure that you manage your time well. Identify what and who are the most important people in your life. Prioritize them and allocate time that, all right, my weekends are for my family and I will ensure that no area is neglected. Apart from that, You need to know quality over quantity. You do not want to give a lot of time, but that quality time has to be spent within the family members, and make sure that this is active engagement. Set some boundaries. It's all right. Understand and respect for their personal space. They also need, family members also need to do their personal time. So let them do. Your dad has a business or he has his own meetings. You have to give them that space. Healthy limits. Set your time and energy so that you do not get too over involved into this. Self-care, again, is very important. Getting into all these things, it's also important that you meditate. You need to have time for yourself as well. So you need to do some recreational activity, look after your personal well-being, relaxation, and hobbies. Apart from that, integrate activities. As I told you, whether it's very nice to have, friends and family, all of them together, have a get-together, include all the groups together, and engage in activities that interest you. And you can have a potluck at home at times and enjoy being together and talking to them. So that is the reason why balancing family and caring communication are very, very important in life. Because if you manage them well and you are emotionally actually very complacent and of course able to handle the setbacks or the challenges of life and able to maintain a healthy, fulfilling relationship. It's a common challenge, especially for students, I understand, because you might be juggling with academics, responsibilities, social interactions, and family obligations. But striking a balance is very important for your overall well-being and personal development. So that is what. Now here I come to statistics. Communication frequency. If we come down to this, 68% of the parents are speaking just weekly to their children because both the parents are working. So they have allocated that time. And there are only 32% who speak daily. So what happens to the stress levels? Let's talk here. 75% of the children who have very low stress levels are generally the ones who speak, right? So the children who have a family and a family member to interact are the ones with lower levels of stress. Now, when I say children who speak to family and what is their academic performance, 82%, if I say, who discuss school daily with their parents achieve above average grades. Why? It's because of that sense of belongingness, that security and stability. And 67% are generally the ones who do not. So here we end with a small little quote. Together we shine like stars in the night. Hand in hand, side by side, our bond takes flight. Through tears and triumphs, we weather life's tide. Family forever, our anchor and guide. So here's to family bond, unbreakable and true. In this symphony of bonding, each note belongs to you. Through seasons, through years, our legacy will grow, for in our hearts forever, this happy family will grow. Now, if there is another video, if we have 5 minutes, I want all of you to just look at this short film about the life cycle of life, which is where I end today's session. And I would like you to write those questions where you have faced a conflict or an area where you wanted to discuss.
Dr. Marsh. I'm fine. The results are in.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Sarah.
Okay, we've got to make this quick. Mike's waiting for me.
I was just thinking we could spend some quality time together. Just you and me.
Look, I'd love to, but Mike has plans.
I never get to spend any time with you. I don't even know you. My only daughter. Please, cancel your plans. You never know when you might run out of time.
Well, you're being really selfish. I have a prior commitment. I have to go.
You'll always be busy, Sarah. You need to make time.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to talk about this later. I've got to go. Okay.
Sarah, wait!
This is Sarah. Oh, hi, Dr. Stewart. Are you sure? Glad you could come by. Listen, I have something I need to talk to you about. Uh-huh. You know, I've been thinking maybe we should spend more time together, some mother-daughter time, you and me. You know, my mom, she never really had any time for me. Right. Emily, come on. Let's just do something this week. You and me. I insist.
I'm busy this week.
Come on, Emily. Please.
Mom, stop! You're being selfish.
What did you say?
I said you're being selfish. You're being really selfish. I have a prior commitment. Look, Mom, it's great you want to finally get to know me, but I have my own life now. Talk to you later.
I'm sorry, Mom.
Well, with this, we come to the end of the session, and the prime focus of this video was basically life is a circle. So it's going to move around and come back. So in this life cycle, we will keep having these issues. So if we don't make amends now, we will repent later. So it's very important that we carry on our efforts to help build that bond within our family so that we do not repent later years of our life. And we all have a happy family, a wonderful bond that we want, a caring communication with all our family members, and a wonderful life ahead. Thank you so much.
I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to Mrs. Radhika Bhatia for her exceptional session on family bonding and caring. Her profound insights and practical advice have guided us towards stronger, more nurturing family relationships. Mrs. Bhatia, your expertise and dedication have inspired us to cultivate deeper connections within our families, and for that, we are deeply grateful. Thank you once again for your invaluable contribution.
Thank you so much, Ayushi, and thank you so much, Dr. Anil Sharma ji. Thank you. I'm really grateful. Thank you. Is there anyone who has any question? Well, I understand there are family issues which you would not like to, open in a social interactive forum, but we are always there to help you. Your counselors are always there to help you. Your friend and family is always there to help you. So keep that lines of communication open and have a wonderful life. God bless all of you. Thank you so much.
Is on your camera for the photograph. Please show your video so that I can take the photograph. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, and thank you, children.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Jyoti ma'am. Thank you so much.